What's up, witches? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, the Lunar Priest, aka Cheyenne. Today we're gonna be talking about how many kids you're gonna have. Also, by the way, this is a reading for a broad range of people, meaning maybe not all details are going to resonate. If something doesn't resonate with you, you'll know it. You'll be like, nah. And then you leave it right where it is. Because I think that all readings on YouTube should have that disclaimer. This is for you to connect, to receive, to have guidance, to have entertainment, and everything said in this reading is meant for your highest and best alignment, and you'll know if it's not resonating. And in that case, if something doesn't resonate, again, just take what serves you and leave the rest, okay? Okay, so without further ado, we're gonna hop into how many kids you're going to be having. We'll also go through their personality. We'll touch on each one of them, if there's any dynamics that stand out. Yeah, any information I can possibly get for you, I'm going to. And so, without further ado, make sure you like and subscribe. What's this? Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like the video, leave a comment letting me know what you thought, and without further ado, let's hop into the video. We have 5 piles here. Piles 1 with Malachite, 2 with Smokey Quartz, 3 with, I always call it Scolecite, but I think I spell it wrong. So yeah, we have this one, Amethyst, and a peach Moonstone. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The timestamps are in the description box. What's up, pile 1? Okay, so we are starting with your crystal Malachite, and I have 1 card that has been pre-selected, not as in I've seen it already, but that I just shuffled and laid. Everything else is going to be a live shuffle today. So what do we have here? We have the spider. Okay, the spider with Malachite definitely lets me know that a lot of you are in the part of crafting the lifestyle that welcomes in children. Some of you, could very well already have children, but I think that the ones coming, and for those of you who have none, you're really in a more, like, I hear the word adult phase. Like, for those of you who already have kids, you could feel like there was an element of really still growing up when you had them, or you didn't have the level of being set up that you have when you have these future kids. And that's not a that's not meant to be like a judgment of any sort. I just think that the preparation phase is upon you. And I'd even like to backtrack and say some of you were prepared, but this time you're like extra prepared. And so if you are having a, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh type of, situation, you are more prepared this time around. There are, I also get that some of you who have and haven't had kids yet, have some fears that you are working through and really kind of coming to terms with in terms of, giving birth, carrying, all sorts of things, and kind of questioning, how am I going to have this kid? And some of you could even be questioning fertility. What this message is telling me, though, is that you are a highly spiritually intelligent person, and Spirit ultimately is saying very clearly to me that you will figure it out. I don't want to go too specific because I do hear some of you will have IVF, some of you will have hormone treatment, some of you, have things going on medically that you'll address, and it'll be clear and easy and the timing will align. And some of you, it's just going to be a couple of months and nothing is really needed. So I don't want to go too deep because I think this is a more broad pile with the situations. We have a lot of really spiritual people here who are really ready to conceive, like the crystal shaking. They're sensing the spirit babies. You are already tapped in with this soul. Some of you will have multiple children too. The spider is a highly creative creature. It literally nests like no other, right? It can build and connect and create bridges. So for those of you who are afraid of any level of things going awry or being out of your control, you're actually very much in control, and you're going to have the tools that you need, and it is all coming from a sacred intelligence within you, and these children all know you already. From the other side, they are preparing alongside of you, sending messages, already getting in touch with you, helping you lighten the load a little bit and kind of navigate the territory of creating this nest of family. Okay, we're gonna keep going. So I have some dice, and we're gonna ask how many children pile 1 is gonna have. Spirit, please don't play jokes on me. Just give us one solid answer for pile number 1. How many children in total, birth, like the ones they've had already, including the ones they're going to have, or just the ones they're going to have if they haven't had any already? How many total children does pile number 1 have? 3. Okay, we have a 3. So I have a selection of cards that's going to give us an idea on each of these 3 children. 2 of the decks I made. One is actually a timing deck, so we're just going to use the one that I made. And actually we'll go into timing on each one though towards the end. And I'm going to just start getting all of my decks on the table. I'm very excited about this. I feel that these particular spirit babies have a lot of friends, because I can sense the other piles babies getting excited, and the pile number 1, like your pile, is kind of like already making friends, keeping them occupied. We have some, you know, some fun. I even hear disruptive energy that it has a really nice edge to it, like a really spunky type of group here. Okay, not all 3 maybe, but I get some spunk here. I get some excitement, an ability to express. Something is telling me to go ahead and start with a lawn sacred geometry card to give us an idea of the vibe between you and your children. How do they see you? Number 40, soul time. The frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge, one that embraces the concept that while the corporeal body is mortal, this soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. So these spirit babies know you, lifetimes and lifetimes. They've watched you through this lifetime. They've studied you. They're good friends with you. And they recognize your spiritual intelligence. I keep getting that spiritual intelligence. Okay. We're going to go ahead, since my hand's already on this deck. We have the Black Moon astrology cards. We're going to get some ideas about their vibe, their sign. Woo! Okay, sometimes those yawns start coming. That wasn't a real one, but it almost came. Okay, well, so we have 3 different babies. Let's get an idea of either a prominent placement in their chart or a defining placement in their chart. So something that really tells us about the overall vibe of these babies. Okay, so baby number 1, Yod, Destiny. Baby number 2, I want to take this one, Leo, I will. And baby number 3, Cancer, I feel. So we have numbers 48, 17, and 16. And we have another 40 up there. Okay, so with the Yod, we have the older child being given very specific challenges in life to kind of channel them into a very intelligent human being. This is someone who thinks very deeply or very analytically. They're either using a very strong right or left brain, and they get themselves or find themselves in situations that really challenge or test them. They are up for the challenge, and they recognize the intelligence of the universe. So this one, I think, is going to be our oldest here. Our middle child, Leo, we have more of a lighthearted, bright energy going on. We have somebody, the stars are standing out, someone who's a little bit more whimsical. Their spirituality might not be, like, I'm getting this person can, adapt spiritually more easily. Whereas the Yod Destiny, I get this feeling of someone going back and forth on their beliefs until something really stands out, something they can be committed to and dedicated to, but it might be hard for them to find that essence of spirit But when they do, it is something that they really dial in on. They really take it very seriously, whereas the Leo has more flexibility, can go from one thing to another. I also get the feeling that there's an age gap here. So between your first and second, there could be a more prominent age gap than your second and third. And your third, we have that baby energy with the Cancer energy, card number 16. With the number 16 here too, I think of the Tower being ruled by Mars. So this person can feel very intensely. Our baby here, the youngest of all three, has an ability to be very empathic. I get the feeling that, working through their younger years, they'll really have to grapple with society, and it takes them a little longer to understand, that some people are bad news, some people don't have their best interest. They feel very intensely, but they become very emotionally mature very quickly. They go through maybe a tough time, and then they really figure it out, and they become a very mature individual, someone who's very career driven. It's like night and day. Their emotions run so deep, but at the same time they will go so far to embody the archetype that represents a goal of theirs. So obviously I'm not saying this is the end all be all of their characters, just some general information on our first round of cards, okay? Going a little bit deeper, we're going to get some things that they want you to know about what their vibe is, like what there could be physical characteristics in this deck, and there could also be soul qualities, just interests, hobbies. This is a deck, here we go, yawning, oh my god, that I created that just gives us an idea about the person's energy, specifically for spirit babies. So let's pull for each of these children. So for number one, okay, so your first child, we have water sign, boy, fine hair, spunky, wild card. Okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. So we have water sign, boy, fine hair, and spunky, wild card. Perfect. We have that poet energy here. Someone who can go back and forth from being very quiet to very opinionated. They have a lot of depth to them. Asking them questions, they may be annoyed by questions, yet also, needing the space to actually work through things verbally. Yeah, they're saying that, they may come off as irritated, especially in their preteen, teenager years. They may seem like they don't want to talk, but actually that verbal working through and that dialogue gives them space to clear out their mind. Though it is a tumultuous experience sometimes, they apologize in advance. That's what I hear, is that, they can go from their child phase to their adult phase and have a lot of issues because they do know how capable they are. They do care at a very deep level who they become, and learning how to balance the people they love most with also developing their own character has some turbulence in there, and they have a craft of some sort. They have something that really matters that takes them a while to find. Like maybe at first they think it's sports and then it switches into something different. They could switch friend groups, and taking that home at the end of the day for this child as they grow up, they can have some time where they're very closed off into themselves because they're thinking very deeply, and in order for them to get out of their head and into the room and into the feeling of it all, they may need that one-on-one conversation time that feels very open and vulnerable. And it's okay, if they don't always know how to do that gracefully, for them to know it's okay. If you are a little bit snappy here and there, but let's just talk about some of this stuff. Let's get this out of your head and onto the drawing board, and carve out that safe space where it's truly okay to feel and be yourself, even if that's not a pretty thing. Because doing that really opens them up and allows them to understand how to communicate very vulnerably, which is something they may have a harder time doing in nature. as they get older, especially. And so that connection with you especially is going to be very important to them. And they see you as a very intelligent person, very emotionally intelligent. They know you don't sugarcoat things. They want to bring you the final product, or they want to bring everybody the final product. Actually, they want to think things through and then have the perfect way of articulating it, but they need practice in doing that. So practicing with you will be important for you to have patience, understanding, giving them encouragement when they least expect it, working them into a confident place. This person has a lot of greatness within them. Okay, moving on to our Leo. So number 2, non-traditional activist. Love it. This one's calling. Musician, right on par with that Leo energy. Just gonna keep pulling at random. Brown hair and art lover. Okay, so we have a lot of, the art lover, the musician, the non-traditional interests with the activism, and then we have brown hair. So I don't think I need to go into this much. We saw someone who was more flexible, more fluid, more shiny in their ability to just like radiate. Maybe they're just naturally kind of smiling or giving this emotional reaction that makes them very entertaining. Putting a musical instrument in their hand from a young age can be important. We have some real leadership energy here. I do get the feeling that they're very popular, they're very talkative. They're very opinionated, though the opinion may change in the blink of an eye. Yeah, okay. I also get that them going to college is going to be pretty significant for them. Yeah. Okay. Cancer, 3rd child. Center of attention. I love the baby energy. Okay. Loves to dress up. This is so cute. Let's see, what else do we have? We'll take this one. Twins. Super friendly. Okay, with the twin energy, what I was picking up on before was that this person was so empathic, and it takes them a while to figure out like how to stand alone. When you have that, I don't know, not everyone might have this, but I know that I've had times where I'm attracted to people who don't give me the return I'm looking for, right? Or the return that I deserve, and that's okay. But knowing how to move on, move forward, draw boundaries, this is somebody who that part of their experience will really help them develop and grow. So I think with that twin energy, like they're very attached to you or to their parent, one of their parents. They definitely can connect so deeply. They could be kind of psychic. And they're used to that closeness. They're used to the attention. They love to dress up. They might be wanting to fit in with their older, I feel a sister here in Leo, but, no gender scripts are being assigned for sure. Like we had boy, but that could be boy presenting. I keep it open like that. I think they're following, though, the Leo a little bit here in you, and they want to find out that they want to feel partnership, they want to feel connectedness, and they're used to that from a very young age. And so figuring out how to just be themselves can feel somewhat isolating here, but that doesn't last long. They do get it together, but I do get that since they are highly emotional, it can seem almost devastating to you when they struggle with that, though they're saying they quickly overcome it. There's nothing to really worry about. So if you are ever like, oh no, it's actually quite all right. Yeah. Okay. Moving into our Kim Kranz Archetypes deck, we're going to pull one for each. Okay. Number 1. This one keeps wanting to come out. The comic. Okay, yes, I love this. For our child number 1, we had like this kind of depth and this poetic energy, and also being kind of wild. Like there could be a very soft, funny energy underneath all of that. They see the cynical nature of life that some people are like hurt by, and they think it's quite entertaining, quite funny. We have a very genius kind of energy here. And then for our Leo, move right along, the Bardo. I think that they have this phase with their music, with their, musical inclination, the art, the non-traditional. They're so bright and easy and go with the flow, and then they find that thing. They find something that just strikes a chord in them and opens up this creative layer. And they're kind of a psychedelic type of individual as they grow up. They really explore the depth of their creativity. And I think that they have a lot of awesome phases. Like, they go through so many things that they're interested in. They kind of become a jack of all trades. Okay, moving on to our Cancer. The Crone. Such an old soul here. Like, that gave me a whole new perspective on this. They've been a spirit guide many times. Outside of human incarnation, they know existence. And that is why they love connection so much. And with the Crone, this is somebody who, they are here to... They start off on one side of connectedness, and they are here to find individuality. Keep yawning. I know. I'm tapped. So, the Crone energy, it's the eldest of the sacred trinity of femininity. And the Crone is somebody who does experience the depth of their heart, good and bad, and then understands that both of those things, both sides, both polarities, are necessary and beautiful, and they create art from it, and they come up with ways to heal others through witnessing the suffering in the world. So we have a really, someone who can go from being the life of the party, somebody who can understand any niche interest, to somebody who can also, swing to the other side and question consciousness. And, they can really resonate with anything. And so it's important for them to understand that, home is there. Feeling a sense of nesting, feeling a little support verbalized is important to them, because finding that individuality, a part of that is having a solid ground to stand on, which is why they're choosing you. They know that you know who they are. They know that you know how to support them. They know that you see also the depth of humanity, and the human experience, the depth of the human experience. They know that you recognize that, and that you will give them the tools, simply, physically, but also understand the more intricate parts of their mind when they need to talk about it. And they do have some sort of healing career ahead of them. They do something that has to do with healing, whether it be energetic or literally like nursing school, something where they're healing. Okay. So I think we will pull one tarot card to give you a message. Ba-ding. 10 of Pentacles. So a lot of material growth is happening and is beginning to happen now, and will continue to happen throughout the births and lives of these 3 children. You will have an ability to provide for them throughout their whole entire lives. You have a very long, happy, healthy life alongside of them. You will get to see them have children, with the 10 of Pentacles being a generational wealth card. It's not just about giving wealth to generations. It's about the prosperity of seeing the generations that you play a part in. You see how they take what you've given them and evolve it and grow. And the goal, I think for every parent is to see their kids grow past them, right? To see them flourish and take the lineage to a whole new place, a whole new phase of evolution. And you feel so proud of them for that. They're very successful individuals, and you are so happy about the experience of getting to raise them and be alongside them. Okay, so we're going to get some timing cards. When do they come into your life? we're just gonna go for it. 1 month. So some of you have already had this child, or some of you are very close to having it. Number 2, April. So April could be significant. I get that this one wants to come out for number 2 whenever you're ready. Okay, so some of you I think have had number 1 and you're having number 2 soon. Some of you are very close to number 1, and then number 2 follows either in an April month or whenever you're ready. There could be some timing things. And then number 3, May. April, May. That's funny. Okay, let's do one more for number 3. February. Okay, well, I love that. So I hope you, and these could be when you are conceiving them, not necessarily their birthdays. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel. It really helps me to continue making content, and it's a great way to exchange energy if you did receive something from this. Like the video, and until next time, I'll see you. Bye! What's up, Pile 2? Thanks so much for tuning into this reading. Today we are going to be talking about how many children you're going to have and diving into a little bit of their characteristics, qualities, things that they want you to know now. Obviously, you can't dissect a whole human being in a matter of their, even beyond their lifetime. We're still learning about them, right? So these are just little details that are meant to be of guidance. If something doesn't resonate with you, just leave it where it is. This reading is for a lot of different people. So if something doesn't resonate, you'll know it, right? Just leave it where it is. Take what serves you, and you'll know what serves you because it'll feel good. It'll feel like an invitation. So let's hop into this reading, shall we? We have a Smokey Quartz. Whenever I get a protection crystal for spirit baby readings especially, I like to give a word of, if you're afraid of birth complications, if you're afraid of how it's going to happen, if you're afraid of feeling inadequate as a parent, if you have any fears, you are protected. Things are not going to go as they're not meant to. Having a sense of faith in this process will be a huge teaching for you. There could be a need to control and understand everything, and Spirit is just giving you a gentle acknowledgement of those things and saying, I am standing by your side. You got this, okay? So with the Smokey Quartz, that's our message. I'm going to leave it simple. We have one of the animal spirit oracles from Kim Krans. We have the octopus, making me think you might have quite a few children for some reason, or that you are a career woman, or that you have many hobbies and interests and lots going on. So let's roll the dice. Spirit, please give me a serious answer on pile number 2. And how many kids they will have in total. So this includes kids if they've already had some and future ones, and also if they haven't had any. How many are they having total? 4. Perfect. I like that. Octopus having 8 hands or arms, and we got 2 per kid here. Okay, sorry. So let's keep going. I'm going to get all the decks out. That was our only pre-picked card, not as in I've seen it, but as in I chose it before the reading. But we have a few other decks we're going to be using, including timing. We have characteristics and traits from the deck that I just kind of wrote up and did myself. I always use it in spirit baby readings. We have some tarot. We have some sacred geometry, astrology, and the archetypes deck. So to start off the reading, I want to know how these spirit babies are looking at you now. And again, some of them could have already been born. Some of you have already had children, I'm sure. And, how do these children look at you as a whole at a very deep spiritual level? Number 9, allowance. They want your money. I'm just kidding. The frequency of allowance invites us to open to whatever comes our way without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in a wondrous dance of existence and expansion. With the, there's so many colors actually, but what stands out to me is the red and the green, being rooted, being secure, and being loved. That is what these children are growing into alongside of you. I do think some of you haven't had the privileges throughout your life to feel the level of safety and comfort you'd like to provide for your children. And that is why you are hyper aware and you do try to do everything in your power to provide. and to manifest a life that is as good as you can make it for these children. And that doesn't, and I'm hearing this strong message, release perfection, because that is not what they want from you. They want your real, authentic you. And you are enough, and that you will always be enough. And I even see an image of, in a very old parent, however you identify, mother, maternal energy, and their kids are so proud of them. Their kids love them and they visit them, and that's you. You are doing such a good job growing into the parent that you will be for them. Yeah, okay. They're going to appreciate your effort so much as time goes on too. Like, they might not obviously be able to show it as children as much, but as they get older, they reflect on you with such a level of elegance and grace, and they think, wow, for how wild things could seem, or for how much was going on in the world, or for how much my parent had going on, I really had everything that could have been provided for me. And there's an ability to understand each other here that blossoms and develops as time goes on. Perfect. Okay, we're going to hop into the Black Moon astrology cards, and we're going to get an idea of each of these children. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hopefully these will go in order from oldest to youngest. Okay, so child number 1, your first child. I feel like I should cut the deck once more. Yod, Destiny, weird. Wow. Okay, that was also pile number 1's first card, which is why I think it's interesting. Okay, number 2, Pisces. Number 3, right off the top, North Node, Life's Purpose. And number 4, Cancer. I feel so strange. Maybe some of you were drawn to pile number 1, but you're having 4 kids, and I don't know. That's really interesting now, because pile number 1 and number 4 were also the first and last cards of pile number 1, and I did not know that. Okay, and there's so many cards. Okay, we're just gonna keep going. So with Yod, I do get a different energy though than number 1's group. Actually, extremely different, especially with this Cancer energy. Okay, so your oldest child, we have you really moving through, obviously with your first kid, moving through things much more carefully, much more, and maybe not careful, but more like unsure and therefore cautious. So we have, a lot of unknown with our first kid. We have this character though who is willing to learn alongside of you. I do get the feeling that your first child is somebody who you see as like, I don't want to, like an equal, like somebody that has so much intelligence and that opens your mind to so many new things throughout their whole entire life. Their interests are fascinating to you, and they have such a unique character about them, unlike anybody you've ever met. And there's a friendship between the two of you, and you can really find a lot of peace and gratitude in their presence. There's a friendship. Not that you are like, you're taking care of them, and they provide such a beautiful emotional experience for you where you're like, wow, this person, you look at them and you're like, they're very strong. And they're very sure of themselves, and they're calculated, and they meet challenges with grace. And even when they have emotional hiccups, you're very understanding towards them. There's so much learning between the two of you with your first child. Your second child, I get a more feminine energy, and I don't ever prescribe gender to spirit babies as much as possible. We never know how someone wants to express, identify, all these things that we get to do in our human life. But I do get when I say feminine energy, I get a more yin, softer, a listening energy. Somebody who fits in with the first child in you. There is, all three of you kind of have a pact almost. There is this, because I get the feeling that these last two are kind of more of our wild cards. We have these, you and our first two, there's kind of this we don't interrupt each other that much. You know, maybe we do, but there's more of articulation to, more time, more patience, more communication kind of goes on that's not so abrupt. And I believe that this Pisces child does have a tendency to fall into more of a shadow, meaning that they might forget to input their opinion. They are very fascinated by the wonders of the world. They are somewhat whimsical deep down inside, but they don't show their vulnerability too much. They don't want to be known. They have a more mysterious and beautiful outer appearance. So you might find that their friends, they take longer to warm up to people, but it's not because people don't want to talk to them. It's because they have a lot in their head. They are very, full of wonder. And sometimes they're just not that interested in things of, the human realm. And so you could wonder, like, are you ever gonna talk to people? And they have friends and everything, but they're kind of like leadership energy because people want to follow them, but not because they're trying to guide anybody. But there is a tendency to be more quiet, and because of that quietness, there's a mysteriousness, but they're very charming and beautiful without even trying. I do think a lot of this is older brother, little sister, but there's a lot of psychic ability to understand each other between the three of you. And it's very, friendly and fun and lighthearted, but also willing to debate and to argue for what they believe. There are clearly articulated points happening. When somebody disagrees, it's like they have a reason, they have things to say. Whereas when I get over here to our third and our fourth, I feel that the third child here is more interested in stirring the pot and might just disagree to disagree, and has a lot of humor. They're very funny. They enjoy shock value. They enjoy cinema. They enjoy comedy. They love the bursts of energy in life, and they could have a harder time kind of winding down. They have a lot of energy. They are more talkative. They want to explore everybody. They're interested in everything. They kind of have this very well-rounded personality about them. I think that they travel a lot as they grow older. Just a really worldly type of person as they integrate into society. And that could start off with a certain level of cynicalness. I do think they might have a phase where they're kind of irritated at the world, and they channel that into some form of creativity or art. I do hear that they may enjoy puzzles and creating things. They like to have things to do. And our fourth child here, we have Cancer. And so these could be prominent placements in the chart, or they could just be archetypal essences that the spirit babies want us to know. With our fourth child being Cancer, we do have that kind of baby energy, the youngest, and a lot of feelings, and they could be more prone to crying and to being sensitive to external circumstances. And I think that one thing that they're saying to put across here is that sometimes they're going to pick things up and not finish them. They're going to feel very intensely over things to do with sensory stimuli, so there could be sounds or noises, and they're very sensitive and things can throw them off. They may cry during a tough conversation, and they may feel a little bit like the odd one out because of how much emotion they have, but they're not quite able to conceal it as much as maybe our Pisces, who had a lot of emotion as well. And their heart has more depth. They definitely have an ability to love. They may really enjoy exploring the subjects that they find interesting, musicians. They really fall deeply into a trance about what they're passionate for. So they will explore a lot of different things. And when they said they may pick something up and not finish it, it's like they may dive so deep into something and then next week they're into something else. And they're really looking to you for support to do that, and to not always have to be pristine or perfect. They want to know it's okay to be messy in their process and to go here and there, and then at the end of the day it all rounds out into this beautiful experience where they are good at what they're doing. And being encouraged to rest is very important for them too, because they're emotionally a bit sporadic and they're very intelligent, so they do very well in school. But then there's times where they don't want to go to practice. They don't want to go do this, and they need a little bit of support, saying, hey, it's okay to, take some time and just recoup, and reminding them to take a deep breath when they're too excited about going to X, Y, and Z. Like, just that grounded nature is what they're kind of looking to you for. But they're very driven, and they do have a very intense purpose here on earth. They will have a career or something that they do that leaves a mark on humanity. They're a very important person in this incarnation. Okay, moving right along, we have our sparkly cards that I made. These are going to just be general cards that tell us about their characteristics, their qualities, physical and spiritual, just things that they might be into. So we'll take 4 for each baby. And these are going to be things that they want you to know about them. These are just some cards I made randomly. Okay, baby number 1. Let's get 4 cards for baby number 1. Singer. Angelic. Voice of an angel here. Performer. Am I like, hello? Singer, angelic, performer. Okay, one more. Good listening. Okay, well, this person, they're a good listener. They're not tone deaf, for sure. Being a performer, a singer, angelic, like, maybe they're into choir. They're definitely sending a message, though. Like, they're definitely like, put me in, choir, put me in some sort of voice lessons, give me an instrument. This person is going maybe to be very influenced by a certain artist. But yeah, very straightforward there about them. Okay, baby number 2, our cute little Pisces. What do we got? Celebrity / influencer. I felt like they were kind of cool. Like, I had a feeling they were kind of cool. Okay, number 2. Really making me search. This one. Oh, we got 2 here. Very funny. I knew it. Great in school. Just have like a star. We got a little bit of a star child thing going on here. Okay. Very curious, and I underlined very. Okay. Very curious, great in school, very funny. They're very. And then celebrity / influencer. Yeah, I think that this is the type of person who kind of like stuff comes naturally to them. They kind of excel. They have a leader essence about them, but they're not forceful, obviously, about getting followers. Like, they kind of just get them because of who they are. I think we get the vibe. I love it. Okay, moving on to baby number 3. I have like very specific cards that are like kind of calling me to get them out. Curly hair. No. Musician. Wow. Maybe, you or your partner or somebody in their life is musically inclining them. This one. Resourceful. Love that. Art lover. Dang, these kids are killing it. Okay, so we have resourceful, art lover, musician, and curly hair. So yeah, we have like that wild type of energy going on here, but somebody who knows how to get what they want here. Very driven. Okay, and then baby number 4, fire sign. Spiritual. Fiery, like mama. We have a mama's baby here. Genius. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, I felt, because I was feeling like that emotional flair to them, like kind of like, they channel things very emotionally, and they have a lot going on inside of them. So deep thinker, obviously, too, with the genius, with the spiritual, like they are very much like Earth again. I think that they've been to a lot of different places, and that their spirit has traveled through so many spaces of consciousness, and they're kind of like, okay, well, if I'm going to be here, I'm coming here with a lot, okay? Like, I'm full-blown expressing myself if I'm going to be here. Perfect. Moving on to our archetypes deck, we're going to pull one for each of these. These are the archetypes by Kim Cran, so we're, yeah, just one for each spirit baby. Card number 1, we have Eros. Baby number 2, the Hunter. Baby number 3, sorry, my camera did something weird. Baby number 3, the Offering, and baby number 4, the Cave. Something about all of them is they have something very complex about them. Like, I don't think all parents feel like they learn as much as you get to feel like you learn from them. So with our number 1 here being a performer, a singer, good listener, angelic, Eros is the creative part of life. It is like, there's the philosophical dance between Eros and Thanatos. So, death and sex or creativity, right? So, Eros being here makes me feel like this person has such a draw towards them. When people are around them, they're kind of a muse. They're very inspiring. I think their songs strike that part. Maybe they write a famous love song. They're somebody who has it all swirling around, and they channel it through their voice, obviously. And that is this feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm touching base with nirvana. Like, people get that feeling when they're near their creative process. And they have a lot of love that gets channeled in such a beautiful way. Like, channel is literally their word. It's like they are really taking it and putting it all streamlined into their music, into their song, into what they are creating. So they could feel very exhausted, because it's kind of like they create in such a heavy way that they preserve all of that for that one moment, that one experience. Then with baby number 2 having Hunter, they definitely have an idea of who they want to be. They take a lot of ideas from others, or they get a lot of ideas from others. They see different pieces of art. They get an idea of what they want in the world, and they know how to curate themselves and go after it. They know their selling point. They know how to be at the top. They have kind of an alpha essence to them. Not because they are, again, they're not vulgar. They're actually very sensitive, but when they see what they want, they know how to manifest themselves into the person that has that thing that they want. And then baby number 3 with the Offering, you know, with resourceful, the Offering, art lover, musician, I think this is somebody who, this is like, I get the word martyr, but that's not the right word, because that's a little bit more, there's something, you know, martyr isn't necessarily a good word. But I feel like when they experience hard times, or they have a hard emotion that comes across, they feel like they've got to make something of it. They've always got to make the best of the situation. People look to them for jokes, for music, for maybe their siblings and you both kind of look to them for that silver lining, because they can always find it. And they're very empathic. You know, they're wild, but they're empathic. They see the wildness in others. They see the dark, the shadow, and they find a lot of love and joy in it, and they know how to guide people out of the dark. And then our baby number 4 with the Cave, again, we have that depth, like just such a depth. They could go into some spiritual studies, or feel, you know, called to some sort of life path that has a spiritual undertaking element to it. I also get that they could be very interested in nutrition for some reason. But yeah, a lot of hidden interests that they pull out and explore throughout their lifetime. So let's get a little idea about timing for all of these babies. When do they come into your life? And you know, some of you may have already had some of these babies, so You already know when they're coming, so just let the timing for those ones, you know, be for others. So when are they coming? Baby number 1. We have 8 years, so for some of you, you're a little further away. Baby number 1. 10 months. Okay, and we'll do one last one for baby number 1. 3 weeks. So some of you are very close, some of you are a little under a year away, and some of you have 8 years to go. Baby number 2, 4 days. That's funny. Okay, so some of you have already had your baby too, and you're very close to having your next. 7 months. Okay, so we don't have a huge like age gap between the first two. And 11 months. So these could also be relevant to the conception of them or to the birth of them. Baby number 3, your birth month, so they could be conceived or born during your birth month. 10 plus years, September. And baby number 4, 6 months, 4 years, and 1 year. Okay. Lastly, to close out your reading, we're going to pull one tarot card, just something, a little message for you from Spirit. We have the King of Wands. You're a highly creative individual. You're super, 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 like intellectual and also an inspiration to these spirit babies. They are choosing you for a very specific reason because you understand on a different level. You are a deep thinker. You have the spunk and the spice that makes you make life fun even in the most serious of times. You understand the ups and downs of life. You've had some very serious experiences that have made you into the person that you are. You are resilient, and you're somebody that is going to have a very healthy group of children. Like, you have a very vital essence about you that translates into each of their lives. You have a very long, happy, and healthy life ahead of you alongside of these children, and you're so very blessed. I hope that these resonated with you. I hope you got something out of this. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. It's a very perfect way to make an energy exchange for me, because this is my favorite thing to do, is read cards on YouTube. Like the video, leave a comment letting me know what you thought, and until next time, I'll see ya. Bye! What's up, pile number 3? Thanks for tuning in with me. Today we're talking about how many children you're gonna have and what they'll be like, whatever they want you to know. Just take what serves you and leave the rest. You'll know what serves you because it'll feel good, like an invitation. You'll like it. And you'll know what doesn't serve you and what's not for you because you'll kind of be like, not really feeling it. And so, without further ado, we're gonna hop into a reading. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's a great way to do an energy exchange with me because this is my favorite thing to do, reading cards on YouTube. Let's keep going. Okay. So, I always say this wrong, but I'm going to call it Scolecite. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Probably not. So, we have this really nice white crystal. It always reminds me of a bar of soap. It's very satisfying, and it also has this oceanic-like quality on the back. There is a level of purification that comes as you have these children. Each one, or the one, brings you a new significant chapter of life. Then we have the deer representing healing the inner child, getting in touch with a new form of innocence, reframing our idea on innocence and motherhood and softness. So with our magical dice here, we're going to ask Spirit, please give us a very serious answer on how many children pile number 3 is going to have. This includes the ones that they've already had and the ones they're going to have, or if they haven't had any, then, you know, we want to know in total how many children will the people in this deck have. 6. We'll do one more just in case. How many? 2. We're gonna stick to 2. Okay, here we go. And if you're gonna have 6, you're gonna have 6, but hopefully you've already had 4 and then these 2 will be your next 2. But if not, then you can choose another pile. Sorry, there's something on my foot. If you believe you're gonna have 6 children, go to pile number 2 because they had 4, and those will be your other 4. Or just pick another pile and you can keep adding them together. But for now, we're gonna do 2 on this one, because I think some of you are gonna have 2. Something very strongly in me told me that it wasn't 6 for a lot of you, but not all. Okay, starting off, we're going to just get a general vibe on them. Actually, We're going to do a sacred geometry card to tell us what these babies look to you for, what the overall essence is between you and your children on a very soul level. We have Gaia, number 28. Beautiful. The frequency of Gaia reminds us that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to the Great Mother, and to the universe that birthed us all. Very spiritual experience, you having these children. Like, this might be one of the most psychedelic undertakings you ever have, which I believe probably childbirth is the most psychedelic undertaking a human can really go through, for sure. And they understand that your groundedness and your awareness is something that will teach them a lot in their lifetime. They look to you for the real and the raw experience, as well as the real grace that exists here on earth. They do believe you are an embodiment of the divine feminine, and you're very fertile. So some of you could really be having, you know, a lot of children in this life, or a lot of family that represents who you're caretaking. So let's start off with getting 2 signs kind of representing either a prominent placement in their birth chart or something that would kind of identify them archetypally. We have North Node, life's purpose, in the 4th house of roots. Beautiful. Okay. And we're also going to get some identifiers along with them on their characteristics and qualities, things that might stand out that they'd like you to know about them. So we're going to take this little deck. I created a bunch of characteristics, both physically, spiritually, everything, and we're going to choose them at random. And these are going to be things that, again, your spirit babies want you to know about them at this time. So for number 1, black hair. Curly hair. Very involved with their hair, aren't they? Spiritual. Genius. Beautiful. And for number 2, we have fire sign. Performer. Wild hair. What is this with the hair? Center of attention. Okay, so for baby number 1 over here, we have a more quiet essence. We have somebody who has a lot of drive and purpose and might keep their head in the book, like kind of keep their head down as they go up in the world and evolve. There's somebody who takes more inventory on others before moving forward into friendship and relationship. They take their time, whereas our baby number 2 has more of a need to receive attention. They want to learn through experience. They're hands-on. With the 4th house, they need a lot of time to rest and recoup from the amount of energy they kind of exert. They might need to do more physical exercise to kind of get the energy out of them. And with the center of attention and performer, they may have a special skill that they quite literally perform with. Okay, next up we have the Archetypes deck by Kim Kranz, and these ones are going to give us just a little bit more information on who they are. Baby number 1, we have the Creator. I love this. We have 2 pretty creative people here. And baby number 2, oh, I got 2. We have the Village and the Temple. Interesting. Okay, so definitely with the Village and the Temple, this person over here, baby number 2, definitely is called to the masses. Like something about being in the mix of things. So they could be drawn to different interests throughout their lives that puts them with a lot of different people. Like they could want to study, you know, philosophy or religion or an art form, and they want to put themselves in the mix, or a sport, something that gets them out there so they can really experience it all. They have a strong foundation at home with you, and they're ready to get out into the world and stand on that foundation and continue reaching their arms into different parts of society. Whereas baby number 1 prefers the art of creativity alone. They are more so interested in almost withdrawing. They want to experience it for themselves and not so much for others. They're very creative though. They could be more prone to literally like drawing and studying and highlighting, whereas baby number 2 is out doing things to kind of create and be a part of. And now what about timing for these children coming into your lives. So for baby number 1, February could be a conception date or when they're literally born in February, 5 months from now, and 3 years. Okay, and then how about for baby number 2? We have whenever you're ready, so they'll come whenever you're ready after baby number 1. We have 5 days, so some of you could have already had baby number 1. You could be on number 2 and they're coming very quickly. And 8 months. Perfect. Okay. And then to start to close out the reading, we're going to pull a tarot card that is a message from Spirit for you. 9 of Pentacles. So this kind of lets us know that you are going to have an abundance of things to do, but there is a happy home, happy business, happy money, happy health. Like Venus and Virgo rules this card, and it's like a lot of attention to detail. You're able to really be a parent, but also still upkeep on, you know, your own business or be involved in the things you want to be involved in, and also have time to, you know, do the things at home that you want to do and keep up on responsibilities. You really graduate into this energy that has their hands full, but is happily juggling everything. There's no, you know, there's a lot of grace. You're very much capable and excited and happy, and the reward of being who you are with these children is just so magnificent and huge and just like powerful for you. So that concludes our little reading here. Again, you might have 6, so just go and choose another pile and get a little bit more info on their personalities if you'd like to. If you feel called to 2, they did have 4 children, so you could just kind of stack the 2 together or stack these ones on end, whatever you feel called to do. And so until next time, I'll see ya. Bye. What's up, pile number 4? I am very excited to hop into your reading. We have this beautiful clear amethyst palm stone here, making me feel like there are some like, oh my god, like royal energies here, kind of like you are stepping into a major glow up. There's a lot of beauty. If you have any insecurities, Spirit's going to be helping you kind of clear those up. We also have the lion, another really powerful archetype here. Stepping into a lot of leadership, weeding out things that don't serve you, habits, people, places. Throughout your journey of motherhood, you really embody the queen type of energy, and that's a very soft and graceful presence. And so you understand, in order to be strong for yourself, it will require you to have really great boundaries and not be vulgar in the process of making those, but to kind of soften into your power is what I'm hearing. And you have a lot of physical beauty also igniting around you, so your children and you have a very beautiful type of presence. I think we'll just go ahead and keep going. So Spirit, for pile number 4's children, how many children are they going to have in total? So they may have already had some and they're going to be having more, or they have none. How many will this pile be having in total that I should read for? 2. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna take, oh, not for each child, but for, this is actually going to be just for how they see you. So these 2 spirit babies, we have, I'm getting crazy. We have card number 30, integration, and that's what it looks like. It says the frequency of integration supports our embrace of every aspect of ourselves, allowing that we perceive as positive and what we perceive as negative to harmonize in a balanced symphony of life. So again, I think this goes very nicely with your animal card, because it's kind of like, I think you have not a checkered background, but you've kind of lived a lot of different lives, and you may have been through some tough things. You may have had some people that didn't serve you. I think that having these children is really a symbolic manifestation of you stepping into your full embodiment, your full manifestation ability, your power, your beauty, and your significance in this lifetime. Camera died. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull an astrology card that'll give us an idea of the general archetype of each of these 2 children. This could be a prominent placement in their birth chart, and it could also just be, yeah, an archetype of theirs. Wow, this Yod card has come out quite a bit. So, your first child having 9th house, faith, card number 33, Second child having Yod, Destiny, number 48. So with the 9th house, I do get a feeling that, you know, they're very spiritual, philosophically inclined. They might have something that is a special interest of theirs or want to study many different things. They may have a little bit of a windy path in their interests, ultimately guiding them to something that is very significant to them. So we have a kind of deep thinker, a curious spirit here. 9th house is associated to Sagittarius, so they could be a little bit of a wild card when it comes to what they're interested in. And then we have Yod, Destiny. This is somebody who, again, kind of has that same curiosity, but I do think that they are a little bit more, they're a little less fluid. Like over here in our first spirit baby, we have someone who kind of switches interests and gets into things and has no problem with that. Whereas with Yod, Destiny, there could be this sense of time and constriction. Like they may feel like they're squeezing a lot of interest into their day, or they have a lot of goals that are lofty. So this is somebody who takes on the challenges in life, and sometimes this can emotionally weigh on them. So they have this depth that comes through here, and I do think that they want to make something significant in the world. They want to be significant, and a part of their journey is finding that significance. They really look up to you and your realness and your authenticity, and they want to have a very authentic experience as well. They're a little bit more suspicious and judgmental when it comes to other people. Like they don't just let people into their lives, whereas I think our first spirit baby has more of an acceptance and can kind of deflect. Like if something comes their way that they don't like, they don't take it very personally, whereas our second one is more sensitive in the sense that they are kind of like, wait a minute, I don't want to be around that energy. So we have someone who's a little bit more cautious over here because they do carry a lot of emotion. They are sensitive, so they're more careful about how they delegate themselves and their energy. We're going to move into this deck that I created myself that just has all sorts of physical and like interests, like things that they might be good at, physical traits, etc. And we're just going to ask them for that they'd like us to know about each one of them. So for baby number 1, we have fire sign. 9th house was Sagittarius, so they might very well be a fire sign. Curly hair. Feeling this one over here. And this one. Very curious and resourceful. Okay. So I do see this person loving books for sure. They like to actually literally study things. And then curly hair and fire sign. And then for baby number 2, this one's kind of calling to me. Oh, and that one just fell out. Celebrity influencer. Very funny. This one over here. Spiritual. And then which one? That one? Art lover. Okay, so we have, again, they have a lot of similarities, but they reflect them into their, personality differently, obviously. So with celebrity, influencer, very funny, spiritual, and art lover, this is someone who's very well-rounded. Again, they're kind of like, gosh, I'm so interested in all these things, and I think it might be something they look to you to hear. You can do it all. Take breaks when you need to take a break. If you don't feel like going to practice today, don't go to practice. If you feel more drawn to this instrument than that one, do that. If you want to study astrology one day and then you want to do calculus homework later on, like you encouraging them and letting them know that they don't have to be one single thing is the authentic thing to do. And them sharing their finds and their studies in a personal, non-personal way is also important. Like if they are creating art, finding a way to distribute their art that doesn't exhaust them, right? So knowing which communities to be plugged into. I feel like with the influencer thing, like social media could be good for them because they don't have to go out there and subject themselves to physical energy. They can actually just put things out online. So there's somebody who, is going to find niche ways to get themselves out there. Whoa. Then moving on, we have archetypes from Kim Kranz. So, maybe number 1, the offering. And then number 2, this one just kind of came out. the cave. Okay, so it keeps sounding like someone's coming in, but they're not. Okay, so baby number 1 having the offering. So we have somebody who is probably more out there with themselves, right? Like the offering, like they offer themselves a little bit more easily because I think they have a thicker skin. They are so curious that things don't really like seem super personal, so they can go out and explore and be a part of many different groups, and they may hang around different types of people. They're more versatile in their social life, and they really do want to be of service. Like they help people. When someone asks for help, they're very helpful, and they could be very helpful to you in their, you know, when they're a kid, they want to help with everything, maybe learn to cook, stuff like that. And then our baby number 2 over here, again, we have the cave, kind of showing that depth of heart and all the hidden elements of them and all the mysterious parts of their character that they get to explore throughout their lives. And again, having that time to rest and recoup and stay to themselves can be more important for their process. Then moving into timing cards, when do these babies come into your life? We'll pull 3. We have 5 months for baby number 1. June, not yet set. So it does feel like, you know, they're either close or June or not yet set. So these are conception days, when you conceive, or when they actually come in. Baby number 2, we have May, your birth month, so they could be conceived or born during your birth month, and 3 weeks. So some of you have already had baby number 1, and baby number 2 is coming very closely behind. Perfect. And to close out our reading, we're going to go ahead and pull a tarot card for a message from Spirit to you. The Page of Swords. So again, I think that sometimes you could see other people being parents and you think, you know, that's not really me. Like you could kind of see through some of the, I guess, the identities that come with being a parent and think, I want to do this in my unique way. I want to be this type of parent. And you're going to get there. Like you're going to be everything that you want to be. You're very quick-witted, very smart, very intelligent, and you're learning along the way. And Spirit's kind of saying, hey, you know, even if you don't know everything about childbirth, even if you don't know everything about how you're going to conceive these children, even if, you know, whatever obstacles you see that stand between you and being this embodied parent that you want to be, you're going to easily overcome them. It's just a matter of time. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please leave a comment below and definitely subscribe to my channel. It really is the perfect energy exchange. This is my favorite thing to do, is read cards on YouTube. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like. I'll see you later. Bye. What's up, pile number 5? I'm very excited to be giving you this reading. You have like kind of a mystical card here. It's kind of like, got a little fold in it. It's kind of cool. I wonder which one it is and what happened to it, because it probably got some water on it for this to happen to it. We also have this really beautiful peach moonstone here. Getting a lot of protection vibes. I'm getting a lot of like coming into the self, really rooting down, preparing. I think a lot of you are preparing to have children or already have and may have a little bit of fears or a little bit of, you know, just need for further clarity or guidance or love even. And there's like a presence about you that's very mystical and very deep-hearted, and doing a lot of healing on the body could be a big part of your path. So the card you have is the dolphin. Beautiful. So yeah, we have a really communicative group of spirit babies here. They're going to let you know everything that you need to know at this time, any little things that they want to share with you. And yeah, just like such a navigator between worlds is what you are. You're able to really adapt and see clearly and communicate in your very own special way. You're a very unique individual with a lot of beauty to share. So Spirit, I'm asking you for pile number 5's total number of children that they're going to have, whether they've already have kids or not. How many kids total will pile number 5 have? 1. I kind of like this because I feel like dolphins with their calf, like they have like that one dolphin, and so there's like such a soul contract here, very strongly getting that. This is like you and this kid are just two peas in a pod, okay? We'll leave it at that for now. Okay, so let's see here. We did our animal oh, that's right, I try to keep it in order. Okay, so we have the sacred geometry cards. So for pile number 1's spirit baby, actually this one is calling me right here. How does the spirit baby see pile number 1? Universal love. Wow, this is a very enlightened group here. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole of existence itself. I think we have some very deep thinking energy. I also get that this might be a feminine spirit baby of sorts. And I don't prescribe gender. I'm looking at the spider crawling around very interestingly on the cards I'm about to pick up. So, you could literally be pregnant right now, who knows? Or very close to, because I feel like spiders kind of represent that nesting and fertility. Okay, let's just get into it, because I feel like this kid is ready to tell me some things. Okay, we have the Black Moon astrology cards, and this is going to give us a little bit of insight either on a prominent placement in this child's chart or an archetypal quality that they want us to know about them. 10th house, the world. Yeah, baby. Okay, we have a lot of status here, a lot of publicity, a lot of ability to put themselves out there, generate income, money. They're here to dominate in some shape or form, some way, shape, or form with who they want to be in the world. They are somebody who's been to very many different dimensions and galaxies. They've incarnated as many different things, and not only here on Earth, but now that they're coming to Earth, they're like, you know what, I heard about money. I've heard about the hierarchy that exists. I've heard about all of these things. I want to be a part of the game. I do have a feeling that they're choosing somebody who can really enlighten them. They've chosen you because they believe you have a certain spiritual intelligence that will keep them connected to their heart center while they are so driven to go forward. They're very, very intelligent people. This person they really do know what they want. Once they get started on what they're going to be great at, they are great at it. They could also be a Capricorn. I'm not saying they're going to have one thing they really like. They could have a lot of things, but there's something that they are here to do that will generate a name for them. And you are kind of the usher of helping them, like the co-creator of helping them with becoming this person that they want to be. They chose you for their very specific reasons. So let's go ahead and get 4 of these cards that I made that just tell us either physical or spiritual kind of qualities that the spirit baby wants you to know. This one's calling to me right away. Wild hair, they could have wild hair. This one's also calling to me. Center of attention. Twins. Some of you could have twins, but we're just going to do our one reading. Our one group here. Okay. Helpful. What the heck? Let's do 2 more. I'm feeling wild. Oh, 2 more. Super friendly. Sandy hair. Okay. So we have wild hair and sandy hair. Super friendly, center of attention, helpful, and twin. So with the center of attention, you know, they can pull attention where they need it. So they know how to become who they need to become. They know how to manifest when they need to manifest. With the helpful and the super friendly, they also know like which groups and which people are going to help them in their journey to success. Like this is somebody who doesn't waste a lot of time. They don't spend time, you know, on other people's problems, I hear. They really want to keep their life as clear as possible, and they choose lifelong friendships. They're somebody who will extend a helping hand and will do their best to be of service. They could have an interest in world affairs, wanting to do charity. They're somebody who wants to really expand as wide as they can. So I do feel like if there's somebody that came into their life where they had a friend that started to hold them back, they have no problem with just being like, okay, I have to move forward. They know how to prioritize is something else that I hear. They're very, very, very smart. Perfect. Okay. Then we are going to take an archetype card from the Kim Kranz deck. Just take one randomly. The medallion. Oh my gosh, like they are destined for some level of like wealth or prosperity. They find a lot of importance with something material. They could also be some sort of like symbol of a brand. They could start something that they are like the head of. Like, they have something about them that kind of centers around them. They want to create something very streamlined that they're good at, and they want to leave behind this kind of legacy. And you really keep them rooted. I just keep hearing them say that. Like, it's like they're so driven, and it can almost be an out-of-body experience to have the level of success that they have and to climb that ladder and to get there and what that will look like in reality. And you just get to be this safe haven for them where they can really work things out and ask questions, and they'll ask you for advice for things you know nothing about and really trust your intuition. And so always feeling like you're there to support them, and you'd always make time, you'd always pick up the phone. Those are very important things to them, because I have a feeling this person doesn't prioritize romance as much. They really are here for the collective. They have something big they want to do. So having that one-on-one connection with you is a very important part of their experience. And just to close the reading out, we'll do one tarot card, a message from Spirit to you. The King of Wands. Yes, Spirit thinks you are the perfect creator for bringing this soul into its experience. Oh my gosh, whoa. Creator thinks that you are, I never call Spirit creator, that's weird. Spirit thinks that you are like, your creativity, that's what it is. Your creativity is something that is the perfect kind of craftsmanship for getting this person to have the basic qualities that they need to have in order to create what they want to create. You really encourage them and always tell them, you know, the best route to the top. You really give them the resources and the tools that they need. You take them to practice. You're always there for them. And they look up to you for your sturdiness. They see you as very sturdy, this spirit baby. And so, but also full of fun. Like, Spirit is going to set up so many things for you guys to have fun together, and yeah, just like a power team, like a lot of great bonding and a lot of success headed both of your way. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, leave a comment below, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.